back to English for Writing Business Emails. In this lesson, we're kind of changing it up a little bit from the previous lessons. In lessons 6 to 14, we're going to be taking a look at actual emails that students have written in class. We're going to be correcting them, looking at different expressions we can use for the different parts of the email, and we'll do a lot of exercises and writing exercises as well to help you get an idea of different vocabulary, different expressions that you can use for different email situations. Now today's lesson is about Unit 6, and Unit 6 is about writing an email of introduction. There are many types of writing an email for introduction. We'll go over a few in this unit. But first, in this video lesson, we'll take a look at an email written by a student and see how we can improve it by correcting any incorrect grammar or cleaning up some odd-sounding expressions, and also to introduce some new expressions that you can use for this specific situation. So let's get started. Okay, this is a great unit because congratulations, you've been promoted. Let's pretend or imagine that you work at a company called Yerpa Industries. Now, there was a purchasing supervisor. Her name was Susan Che, but she has moved on. She has changed positions. Maybe she's moved up in the company. Maybe she's left the company. That's not important. The important thing is that you have been promoted to fill her position. So now you want to contact all of her contacts in other companies and let them know that you are taking over for Susan Che as the new supervising purchaser at Yerpa Industries. How would you go about writing the email? Let's take a look on the next few slides how a student wrote the email. And in fact, if you have the book, and I hope that you do, English for Writing Business Emails, you can find the example on page 64. So let's take a look, read the student email on page 64, and you can pause it after my explanation here. But as you read the email, consider three questions. The first question, is the tone of this email appropriate for the situation? Remember, we talked about tone in Unit 4. Could the vocabulary be improved? Again, we talked about this in Unit 2. Are there any Konglish type mistakes, or can some of the vocabulary be changed around? Does it all make sense? Finally, underline any mistakes. Don't worry about changing the email. Just read it and underline parts that you think are strange or that should be changed. Okay, so go ahead and take a few seconds, maybe a minute or two to do this, and come on back. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you've read through the email. It's a very short email, so hopefully it didn't take you too much time. We're going to go over it together, and I'm going to point out the parts that you probably underlined and how to fix them. And over here on page 65, of course, you have room to write in the comments from this video lecture to correct these mistakes. These are the mistakes that I have identified, mistakes or things that should be changed. Maybe they're not actually mistakes in English grammar, but they do sound a little bit odd, or maybe they're not appropriate for this email. So let's go over this email and point those out, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at this email here. As we can see, and I just want to highlight some of the ideas we talked about in Unit 1 when we were talking about proper email format. As you can see up here at the BCC line, right, we talked about that in Unit 1. We have all the different people who are recipients of this email. And in this email, it is very appropriate to use the BCC line. Remember, that stands for Blind Carbon Copy, because these are people at many different companies who are the purchasers. They're buying supplies from your company. They're at many different companies. Maybe they don't know each other. They don't need to know each other, and they would probably appreciate not having their email address spread out to many different companies where they don't do business with those companies. And maybe they're even competitors. So it's much better to use the BCC line in this case, because they will only see their own email address in the email that they receive. Okay, what about the subject? Is the subject appropriate? Sure, it's condensed, it's succinct, it's to the point, it's very effective. New contact point, Yerpa Industries. That tells the reader exactly what the email is about. They don't even have to read the email, they already know what it's about. Okay, so let's move on. What about the salutation? The salutation, of course, is here. Is that an appropriate salutation for this email? Probably not. How do you know that all these people will receive this email in the morning? Some of them might be receiving it in the afternoon, or you don't know. And it's a mass email. Probably not a good idea to use good morning, good afternoon, something like that. And I also mentioned the punctuation. Don't use a period at the end of a salutation. Remember from Unit 1, we talked about that. It's either a comma or a colon. So we could change the salutation to Dear Valued Customers. And adding the word valued is a nice touch. Of course, you value them as your customers. They're important to you. So, dear valued customers, that's a very good greeting. It's actually kind of a common salutation greeting for a mass email that is sent out to many of your customers. It's very appropriate. And of course, we're using a colon here. Remember in Unit 1 we talked about that's very appropriate to use with a mass email. Okay, moving on. The next line says, I'm Jack Park from Yerpa Industries. Now here I highlighted it and I made a note and I said it's unnecessary. It's really not necessary to say who you are and where you're from because that information is at the bottom. Underneath the valediction, your signature line, you write your name and you write your title and then your company name. So there's really no reason to write that. I'm Jack Park from Yerpa Industries. It's unnecessary, and usually Westerners, Americans, we don't do this. We just get right to the point of the email. Our name, our title, our company, that's all at the bottom of the email. Okay, so that's not what's important. What's important is the message. What is the message? Get to that right away. This is unnecessary. We can delete it. So what is the message? It says, from now on, I'm in charge of managing the purchasing department. Susie Che left the job. Okay, this is very direct. It's very basic language. I mean, it's simple language, but it's probably a little too direct, and it's not very appropriate. Susie Che left the job. It sounds a little elementary. It doesn't sound very professional this way. So I'm going to suggest a few alternatives that you can use instead of this. For example, you could write, this is to inform you that. And that's a good collocation to start off your email. Remember we talked about collocations, set expressions. So you could write, dear valued customers, this is to inform you that. And right away we know that this is an announcement, and that's exactly what you're doing here. You're making an announcement. I'm replacing Susie Che as your contact point at Yerpa Industries. That is an announcement. So this is to inform you that. Very good way to begin this email. This is to inform you that I am replacing Susie Che as your contact point at Yerpa Industries. Now, you don't have to, but you could add another sentence to that, wishing Susie Che well, no matter what the situation is. Maybe she was promoted inside the company. She has a higher position. Maybe she switched departments. She transferred to another department. Or maybe she left and got a job at another company. Or maybe she just left her position. It's not important to tell the customer the exact details of her departure. Maybe that's private information. Maybe that's none of their business. But you might want to keep it upbeat, right? You want to put a positive spin on it. And you could add a sentence like, please join me in wishing Susie well in her new position. That's quite professional. You could also write, I am pleased to announce that from today, right? That from today, I will be responsible for your account at Yerpa Industries. As you may have heard, Susie Che is moving forward with her career. Now, probably before she left her position, Ms. Che probably sent an email to her contact saying that she will be leaving. She may have even mentioned your name as the replacement for her position. Of course, that would be the professional thing to do. And this might be a follow-up email that you're contacting those people directly. So as you may have heard, right? She probably emailed you already. So continuing, you want to focus, okay, you said, I'm replacing Susie Che. So now maybe have some information about yourself. For example, as the new purchasing supervisor. So you are telling them what your new title is and just reminding them of Susie Che's old title. As the new purchasing supervisor, I am excited to work with you. This is very upbeat, positive language. I am excited to work with you in continuing to supply, in continuing to do something, because of course you're just taking over somebody's position. There's no change in the duties. You're going to still perform the same function, but you're continuing that. And of course you want to make it positive in continuing to supply our high quality products. Okay, if you can, you're directly emailing your customers. Again, give them sales information, right? Push the sales, high quality products, right? So you want to keep it upbeat, keep it positive. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you require any assistance. Now, another way that you could do this and keeping it upbeat and positive is you could use a different collocation at the beginning and say, I am pleased to announce that. Okay? I am pleased to announce that from today, from now on, I will be responsible for your account at Yerpa Industries. As you may have heard, Susie Che is moving forward with her career. Now, probably before Susie Che left, she probably sent an email to all her contacts telling them that she will be leaving, and she probably introduced you as her replacement, right? So as you may have heard in that case, that's a good way to follow up on an email, on that email that Ms. Che probably already sent. As you may have heard, Susie Che is moving forward with her career. Again, positive language. Moving forward with something. That sounds positive, like she's been promoted or she's accepted a better position either at your company or at another company. Again, it's not important to give details. That's not important. Also, you could write this. Please accept this as a follow-up to Susie Che's email about her departure. Now, this is more direct, right? You know that Ms. Che sent them all an email about her departure. Now you are following up on the email. So please accept this as a follow-up to someone else's email. I would like to take this opportunity. This is also a good expression. Now here you notice to let you know, and as I pointed out in an earlier unit, let you know is a little less formal, but it's also friendlier. I mean, you could say to inform you that, but to let you know that is more casual, but it also sounds maybe a little friendlier. So that's what I was talking about in a previous unit. Sometimes you mix formal expressions with informal expressions to sound friendlier, to try to make people feel more comfortable. So, it's okay to do that here. To let you know that I am very excited to be your new contact point at Yerpa Industries. So, okay, this also shows eagerness, right? That you're willing to work with these people, that you want to do a good job for them. That's very professional. That's very good language to use. Now, later on in the email, we saw, I email you to notify that if you need something, please contact me. I am happy to assist you. Please let me know how I can help you. Now, a couple of issues with these two, actually 3 sentences here. And it sounds a bit odd. I email you, that's incorrect grammar. The verb tense is incorrect. To notify that, we're missing some. To notify you, we need a subject after notify. To notify you, and please contact me and please let me know, that's redundant. So we have incorrect grammar and we have redundancies here, right? Please contact me, please let me know how I can help you. This sounds a little redundant. How can we rewrite this so that it's more efficient? We could write this. I am looking forward to continuing the excellent relationship between our organizations. This sounds a lot more professional, right? The previous one, let me just go back there. I email you to notify that. Please contact me. I'm happy to assist you. It sounds a little basic, too elementary. This sounds much more sophisticated, more professional. I am looking forward to continuing the excellent relationship between our organizations. Please do not hesitate to contact me. Again, we're using a lot of these collocations that we learned in Unit 3, right? If I can assist you in any way. Assist, remember, is more formal than help. In any way, any possible way. You could also write this. I am looking forward to providing you with the same high standard of customer service. Now, this is a little bit more complicated, but it is really focusing on the fact that your company is providing a high level of customer service, right? The same high standard of customer service, right? Again, it's like the high quality products. You're continuing to sell your company, your goods, your services. With the same high quality or the same high standard of customer service you have come to expect with Ms. Che. Please feel free to contact me at your convenience for any assistance with future orders. Okay, so again, a nice way to say, look, I'm the person you should contact if you require any assistance with future orders, and at your convenience, whenever you need it. No pressure. Please contact me at your convenience with any assistance you may require. Okay. Finally, coming up to the end of this email, right? So, in the original, it just says, hope you have a great weekend. That's fine, but maybe it's a little bit too informal for a mass email to many people. You could use that for, if you're writing to just one person with whom you have a good relationship, but maybe with a lot of people, you want to keep it a little bit more formal. I hope you have a great weekend. And by the way, that's a great way to finish your email, especially if you sent this email on Thursday or Friday. That's a good way. Don't write this, obviously, if you're sending your email on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. That would be strange. I say, weekend, what? It's, the week, it's on Monday. What are you talking about, weekend? That's a long ways from now. So don't use this unless it's, late Thursday or Friday, okay? I hope you have a great weekend. If it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just say, I hope you have a great day, right? That's fine. Okay, and then thank you, Jack Park, Purchasing Supervisor, Yerpa Industries. So we can see his title and we can see the company that he works for. There's no need to put that information at the beginning of the email. Okay, so as usual, I always think, well, if I was in that situation, how would I write this email? And I've done so. I have an example for you on page 66 in the book. You can check that out. If I was in this position, how would I write the email? This is how I would have done it. And as you can see in this email, there are many of the expressions that we went over in this lesson. So if you do find yourself in a position where you need to contact a lot of people to inform them that you are replacing somebody at your company, this is a good way to do it. Okay? In the next video lesson, we'll continue with Unit 6 and we'll take a look at some different situations for introducing yourself. Doesn't always have to be if you're replacing somebody. Maybe you're contacting one person or one contact directly and you want to introduce yourself, your company, your services, your products to that person directly. We'll take a look at some different examples and some different expressions that you can use. So I hope to see you there. Thanks again for studying with me. As always, I hope this was helpful to you. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.